I like to say that by doing magic, you start at a 10 every single morning. You start at a 10. You do magic, you're a 10. You don't do magic, you're neutral, right? You're 0. Something goes not your way that day, you go down to and you didn't do magic, you're at a 0, then you go down to like a -4, right? But if you did magic and you started at a 10, then you're at like a 6, right? Something bad happened during that day at work or with a family member. You're like, all right, well, I still took control of having my morning that I wanted to have, right? I reminded myself of my goals, the bigger picture, not these little tiny things that happen during the day that aren't good, but the bigger picture, which are my goals and my intentions and my affirmations and what I'm grateful for. And so that's really the main difference that I feel when I do magic and don't do magic. It's like little things get to me, right? Like someone cuts me off in traffic and I'm reactive. Whereas if I take that spiritual time in the morning where I'm like connecting with my higher self, would your higher self really react and, honk really loud at somebody? No, it wouldn't. And when I go a few days without doing magic, I can truly feel that kick in. All right, I am so excited to talk about vision boarding because I've been vision boarding for the last 5 years, and you might be wondering, what's vision boarding? Like it's a verb, like I'm boarding outside. No, I don't board. I actually don't play any sports. Fun fact, I've never played a sport in my life. Even when I was younger, I was in like cheerleading and dance. Vision boarding is quite different. It is where you gather a bunch of photos and phrases and inspiration from magazines or online, and you cut them all up and you put them on an actual tangible poster board. And I've been making one for the past 5 years, and I love sharing what was on my vision boards because everything has truly come to fruition. And I feel like I'm living proof of them working and manifesting working and, putting my vision out there for the universe to know about it and for me to know about it every single day, and really rewiring my mind every day that I look at my board, and that it's like a constant reminder of what my goals are and what I want in life to come to fruition. So what better time to talk about this than the beginning of the year? It is 2023. And like I said, if you are listening to this later on, that's okay. You can start a vision board at any time. You can manifest anytime, anywhere in the world. That's the beautiful thing about this concept. And yeah, the new year brings an idea of a fresh start. It's almost like last year is wiped clean and you feel, remotivated to get things done. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I am a huge advocate for New Year's resolutions, even if they do drop off. I don't think that it's a bad thing to set good habits for yourself. I feel like the more and more I do it every single year, they actually last longer. So if I were to be someone that didn't believe in New Year's resolutions and just never did them, then there would be no fun in that, and I wouldn't be creating positive habits, which I've now integrated into my daily routine. I feel like that can be a whole other episode of just New Year's resolutions, and I have a few that I do every single year in the month of January. Anyways, so I'm going to teach you guys my ways of how I vision board and manifest and what I've done in the past. And I'm going to start by telling you guys, I guess, a story of what's been on my vision boards and what has come true. So my 2017 vision board, that was when I first moved to Los Angeles to pursue my career in acting. And, I was first getting out on my own. And so a lot of hopes and dreams. And I listened to Oprah. She's the one that kind of started talking about, it's been around for decades, vision boarding, but she was someone who really started talking about it because she was talking about The Secret, which is the law of attraction. And she did a whole episode about vision boarding and how she does it. And obviously we know who Oprah is and how successful she is. So I think a lot of people started throwing vision boarding parties with their family and friends. And obviously it was working for them. And so now it's become a huge known thing. So I think I heard it from Oprah or something like that. But I made my first vision board, and what was on my vision board was a giant cutout of Selena Gomez's face. Selena has been an inspiration to me since I was really little, so that's why I put her on my vision board. And, you know, she's an actress and she stands for mental health and wellness, and she's just an incredible woman. So, you know, that is someone that I had aspired to be. And so she was front and center on my vision board. And then on that vision board, I had a logo to a network that I wanted to be on. So one logo I had on there. There's so many networks. There's ABC, there's Fox, there's Hulu, Netflix, Disney, Freeform, CW, Comedy Central, Disney. I put one logo on my vision board, and that logo was a Freeform logo. I cut out all the bubbles, and I placed it on my vision board. Also on that vision board was a billboard, I think, and then I put like a happy face sticker on the billboard. I think it was just an ode to like, I want to be on a TV show, on a billboard. And then there was some like palm trees and stuff because I wanted to travel. And let me tell you guys what came true on that vision board. So cut to 2018, so a year later. At this point in 2017, 2018, auditioning for many years, I had a very specific vision on what I wanted to accomplish, which was be on some sort of TV show, specifically Freeform or CW. And so 2018 comes, I'm auditioning for years, never booked anything. And I booked my first show in July of 2018. And what network was it on? Freeform. It's called Siren, and it is a Freeform show. Now listen, I don't know. That's a little weird. Am I right? Like, there are so many shows that I was auditioning for and could have been on. Now, don't get me wrong. You can't just make a vision board and then do nothing, right? You can't just manifest and meditate and take no action. Like, I was working really hard. However, I had a very specific vision for what I wanted. And I was very specific with myself and with the universe about how I wanted to accomplish that. Also, which was on the vision board. So what I do on the back is I write out how I'm going to achieve those goals. So the front is like super pretty, a bunch of pictures, and then the back is how I'm going to do that. So in order to accomplish my dream of becoming an actress, I said I need to sign up for acting classes. I need to be consistent about doing scenes. I need to put a lot of work into my auditions. I also need to take care of myself. You know, goals on the back of the vision board that I would write out. So that was one crazy, amazing thing that came true, my 2017 vision board. So 2018 rolls around and I create another vision board for 2018. And on that vision board, I wrote out in sticker letters, I put build a business. I didn't know what, I didn't know who, how, anything. I had this entrepreneurial itch and I knew that I wanted to create a business. And as I was kind of going through the magazines and, you know, taking this time to create a vision board, it allowed me to even get these ideas to come to my head about what I might want. And instead of shunning them, I was like, okay, let's write this out. Like, let me have an abundance mindset, not a scarcity mindset. An abundance mindset is when you have abundant thoughts. You know, there is so much out there that is available to me. I allow myself to receive love. I allow myself to receive opportunities. This is an abundance mindset. These are also called affirmations, right? A scarcity mindset is like, oh, I can't wish too big, or, oh, I can't, sign up for this class because I can't spend any money. I got to hold on to it super tight. There's no partners out there that are going to be good for me. Maybe this one person. That's a scarcity mindset, whereas abundance is like, there are 7 billion people in the world. There is a 100,000% chance that one person will love me. That is an abundance mindset. So have that mindset as you're going into creating your vision board. Set yourself up for success. Don't set yourself up for failure by thinking small. And, this takes practice of reprogramming our mind to allow ourselves to believe these things. It's okay if we get into these spirals of not thinking we're good enough or not having motivation or getting into this analysis paralysis where we're not taking action on anything. That's all okay. Allow yourself to feel those things, but just make sure in those moments you're checking in with yourself and you're like, what has happened up to this time? Why am I feeling like this? And allowing yourself to rest if you need to. So back to the vision boarding. In my 2018 vision board, I wrote build a business. And in 2019, so the following year, it sounds like each time it's like a year later, right? It's been kind of sitting on the vision board. I've been taking action on those little things. I created my business, which is Magic. And like I said, when I made that vision board, I had no idea what business I wanted to start. But when the idea for Magic came to me, Magic is my journal company that I created where I sell journals. It's called Magic Mornings, and Magic is an acronym that stands for meditation, affirmations, gratitude, intentions, and coffee. And it's available on my website. And this is my baby. This is my business. And I created it a year later in 2019. Okay. I'm really excited to tell you guys about this one. These are little things on my vision board. There are many more things on there that have come to fruition, but I kind of wanted to take one story from each vision board that has come true to just make my point about how beautiful vision boarding is. So in 2019 now, I created another vision board, right, in January. And I make a whole vision board with all sorts of things. Now I have a bunch of networks on there because I'm like, ooh, this vision boarding thing really works. Let me put Marvel, lead in a Marvel movie. No, but I'm putting producers. Okay, so I put one producer's name on my vision board. One producer's name, just one. His name is Greg Berlanti, and he produces a ton of CW shows. Riverdale is a good example. And I made this in January, and in October, I booked a Greg Berlanti show. I'm not joking with you. And I didn't even realize it. I went back to my vision board and I was like, are you kidding me? His name is like I cut it out of like a magazine because, his name was in a magazine. I mean, he's a huge producer. And I cut it out and I stuck it right there in the middle. And I'm not kidding. I'm going to post photos of my vision boards, maybe on Magic Mornings, my website, to show you, because there's not a whole list of directors and producers. It was just one. And so that was pretty cool. And then in 2020, my vision board had a multitude of things. And I think one of the main things on there that has come true was that Magic is still in the beginning stages. So a lot of it was about creating my brand into the brand that I wanted it to be. So there are a lot of photos of merch because I wanted to create t-shirts for Magic and stuff like that. There was shelves, Urban Outfitters shelves on it, and an Urban Outfitters logo because I wanted my journal to be in these stores. Still hasn't happened yet, but that was a year ago, so it's about time. I'm thinking maybe in March 2023, we will be in Anthropologie and Urban Outfitters. With that being said, though, my 2020 vision board was very much directed towards making Magic become an actual tangible brand because it wasn't yet. It was developed in the end of 2020. And so I launched 11/11/2020 and I made the vision board in January of 2020. And like I said, a lot of the vision board was about making my brand come to fruition. And here we are, 2023, and it is a full-on brand. It's living, it's breathing. I get sales every day. And so that is another example of how my vision boards have come to fruition. So, you guys by now understand how I feel about this, and I just really want to spread the awareness of how powerful that they are, and that all the power that lives within you, it's really nice to get it out on pen and paper, if you will, and kind of get your hands in there to create. I hosted a vision boarding party a couple weeks ago with my friends, and I was so happy because every single one of them, as they walked out the door, they said, Natalie, thank you so much. I haven't cut out paper and used Elmer's glue in like 15 years. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like they've just felt inspired and like they haven't taken the time out or space to, have fun and be a kid and put their dreams out on a board. Who doesn't want to put their dreams on a board? That's so fun. I think the only thing that you need to do is really just take out the time to do it and consciously and intentionally be like, okay, on Saturday, I have nothing going on. I'm going to run to the store in the morning and I'm going to vision board for a couple hours in the afternoon. And even better, if you feel comfortable, get a group of friends together and vision board together. Okay, so now I want to talk to you guys about the how-to vision board. I've pretty much talked about it this whole time, but I do something in the beginning of my vision boarding parties because I've been hosting them for like 5 years now. And every year I think of like some new idea. And one thing is that in the very beginning, I pass out a piece of square cardboard paper and a Sharpie. And I say, okay, I am setting a timer on my phone for 10 minutes and we are all going to write out our intentions for the year and our goals, right? So then we're not going through magazines and just kind of like aimlessly looking. However, you can do that as well. But this has been something that's been super helpful. And I always love it every year because I set that timer and it gets super quiet and all you can hear are the Sharpies to the paper. And I'm just like, oh my God, everyone's dreams are like being put out into the world right now. And how often does everyone in this room do that? And so it feels powerful and it feels so intentional and like, and everyone has a smile on their face. Like you never regret doing that after. You never take time to like write out what you want to accomplish or achieve and then be like, what a drag. No, you're like stoked about it. And so after that 10-minute timer goes off, then, there's magazines laid out in the middle of the table and everyone kind of just gets to work. And it's funny too, because it's always like quiet in the beginning. And then 10 minutes later, everyone's chatting and sharing about like what they're looking for. And, can you pass the magazine? Has anyone seen a photo of Harry Styles? And, has anyone seen a bakeware set in a magazine? And so it's just super fun. Like ideas are flowing and it's just overall a really great time. And, you can have everyone bring some magazines. So this quote unquote party is quite cheap. You can just get some snacks maybe from the store and get some waters and, make it as big or small as you want to. I'm just saying that it doesn't have to be some huge thing. Also, you can do this by yourself. So another thing that I like to tell everyone in the room, because I know that people can get self-conscious about what they're writing on that little cardboard piece of paper before we start vision boarding. And so one of my favorite quotes, and I say it every single time and I use it all the time. It goes, when you're 20, you think that everybody cares about you. When you're 40, you stop caring about what other people think of you. And when you're 60, you realize nobody was thinking about you at all. Why is that one of my favorite quotes? Because this idea that we care so much about what other people think and what society thinks and our family, friends, loved ones, anyone, and that it debilitates us from taking action on what we really want to do in life is so sad to me. And I fall into it as well. That's why I'm sharing it. That's why it's one of my favorite quotes. That's why I remind myself of this quote every single day, because what it's saying is nobody's thinking about you. Everyone is thinking about themselves. When you walk into a place and you think that everyone's like staring at you or whatever, they're not. Everyone's thinking about how they look and, what's going on in their life and their family drama and what thing they have to turn into work. So when I remind myself about this quote that like everyone's focusing on themselves, Natalie, just who cares? Take the photo in the middle of the street. Or what else do people do? What else do I hinder myself from doing on the day to day? I mean, honestly, it can go as big as following your dreams, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's left with yourself. You're not living with mom and dad when you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, or your siblings, or your extended family, or your friends. And by you following your dreams as well, let's talk about the law of attraction. What you put out there is what you attract back. The energy that you put out there is the energy you're going to get back. So if you're in line with your purpose, then you're going to find the right partner. You're going to find the right friend group. You're going to feel good about yourself, your day to day, everything like that. And the only way to not have doubt in your body is to take action on what your intuition is telling you to do in life, right? Which is, you know what it is. You know what it is. If you get quiet every day, you'll know even more, because it's always in there telling you exactly what you really want. Whether that is having to do something with, yes, following your dreams, which I keep saying, I always say follow your dreams, but like, I'm just talking about making the reel on Instagram, or quitting a job to pursue something that you love, pursuing a hobby, or even pursuing a partner, or the opposite, breaking up with a partner that you know isn't good for you. All those kinds of things can come into play when you are getting quiet with yourself and things start to align. Another thing that I wanted to shout out here was that a lot of people will say, well, can I create a digital vision board? And of course you can. I think that's great. I think, though, personal opinion, that you should either create both or just a tangible physical one. Here's why. First of all, we spend so many hours on our phones, so many hours. Trust me, it's going to create a new type of energy if you really get your hands to work and you're looking at something other than Pinterest, right? Like, take from someone who's been Pinteresting for a decade, the things become the same, mundane, over and over. You're seeing the same pictures of buildings and quotes and aesthetic styles, and it's really easy to like see photos in there and be like, oh yeah, I like that. I want to, that photo makes me feel good. I'm going to add that to my vision board. When you're looking through magazines, especially after you wrote on that little piece of paper your intentions and goals, you have a more specific mindset about what you actually want to achieve, rather than a photo that just looks aesthetically pleasing. Also, another reason is because it feels so much more personal to do a vision board with your hands, right? You're like in there, you're in the nitty gritty with the pen and paper and scissors, again, with that energy that you're putting out there. And I think the main thing is just that you'll find more content that you wouldn't find on Pinterest. So that's what I say to people that, want to only do digital vision boards every single year. I'm just here to encourage you to try something new and do a tangible vision board that can sit in your room or your office or your kitchen or your living room, that you can see every single day, and it makes you smile when you look at it. Another great thing about having one of those vision boards that go in your room or your kitchen or wherever is that you can add to it throughout the year. You see a picture that you really love, or you take a photo that's of you in a really cool space that you kind of want to find yourself in more. You could pin it right to that vision board on top of other photos and kind of, continue collaging that. Or you snip something out of a magazine that you saw, or you get a cool sticker from someone that inspires you. You can continue to add to that vision board, which I think is super fun, because it's almost like your vision board is evolving with you throughout the year. And you're gaining ideas, again, with that intentionality. You're like kind of seeking things throughout the day that are going to help you manifest your dreams. And when you do that throughout the day, the universe is picking up on that energy and giving it right back to you, to where more opportunities are coming, again, with that abundance mindset. And this just trickles throughout the whole year. We're setting ourselves up for a successful year. That's what we're doing here. There's no negativity in doing this. It's all to hopefully boost, the chemicals in your brain every single day. That's what we're trying to do here. We're talking about a whole year. We're going to go through cycles that are really hard. I know my 2022 has been an absolute roller coaster. I went through a huge breakup in the beginning of the year. I just lost my grandmother at the end of the year. I booked my first series regular role in the middle of the year, and I was flying back and forth to Atlanta to film. And, to kind of have this grounding space to come home to and to kind of clock my vision board every now and again, it really brought me peace in times that I might have felt a lot of turmoil. And it's not some magic pill, right? But again, we're just planting little happy seeds around us as much as we possibly can. So for 2023, that's what I hope that you will do as well, and that it's helpful for you. So vision boarding goes right in line with manifesting and the law of attraction. I'm sure you've heard both of these terms before. And manifesting is just putting energy out there that you want to come back to you. And I manifest in a few different ways. So I meditate every day. That is the M in magic, in the magic journal. So every morning I meditate for 10 minutes. And I do different types of meditations. Like every day is going to be different. Sometimes I do a guided meditation. Sometimes I do a silent meditation. And sometimes I like to visualize how something is going to go down in my life. So for today, I did a 10-minute silent meditation with the app Insight Timer. It's not a sponsor. I use it every single day. They have guided meditations as well as timers on there where it does like a bell that goes like ding. But it's much more soothing than that. But they do it in the beginning as well as the end of the meditation, and you can set like a certain duration of time. So today what I did is I did a 10-minute timer, and I visualized how I wanted this podcast to go, right? Because you can only prepare so much. I already know inside me what I want to tell you guys. It's like a feeling that I have in my body. And I'm so used to memorizing lines for work, but this is not that. This is just me truly coming to you guys with an outline that I think I know what I want to say, and hoping that the universe or God is like gonna help me out, right? And so I want to do anything that I can to set myself up for success. And so what I did this morning was I just visualized me truly sitting here talking to you, aka there's no one in front of me, it's just a camera, but I wanted to visualize what would come out of me and hope that it could be inspiring for even just one person to take action on something like creating a vision board. So I sat there and I just envisioned that. I was like, ideas are coming to me and I'm able to speak with knowledge and creativity and grace and, as I'm doing right now, as I blubber. No, but that was me visualizing today of how I wanted this to go. And so far, so smooth. But you could do it with so many things. If you want to get married, and you don't even have a partner, you can sit there and manifest, aka do a visualization meditation of how that day is going to go, how you want that day to go. It's only 10 minutes long. Just do 10 minutes of sitting there, and your mind's going to wander, and that is okay. That's okay. That's a part of the process. I don't want you to become paralyzed, meaning you don't take any action on meditating because you're so worried about how your mind's going to wander. You have to start somewhere. It's the same thing with anything in life. You have to start somewhere. So, and you could start with 5 minutes. It's just about really kind of having that grit within you to go like, okay, I'm going to do this today. And this is for you. This isn't for anyone else. However, it does trickle into the people in your life because you're a lot less stressed, you're a lot more peaceful and grounded, and you feel happy because if you do, let's say, a visualization one, you're manifesting something that you want. And that morning you just, visualized a dream of yours for 10 whole minutes. And I guarantee it's going to put a smile on your face as you're doing it. So that's one way that I love to manifest. And I manifest every single morning in my magic journal. Every single morning. I write down, so I do my meditation. I write 3 affirmations, which is manifesting qualities that I want to become, right? affirmations reprogram our subconscious mind to believe specific things about ourselves. They usually start with I am, or they can start with I am. So I am a loving being that inspires other people. I am a magnet to new opportunities. So every day I write 3 of those. And then I write 3 things I'm grateful for, which is absolutely manifesting because I'm putting energy. Manifesting is just energy into the world, into the universe, literally thanking it. Thank you so much for all of these things I have in my life, which is going to be a magnet to positive energy, which is going to show out to people I interact with, which is then going to attract opportunities to me because I'm energetically putting out there that I'm grateful and that I'm so happy to see you and thank you for having me and thankful for this day. And imagine doing this every day. I don't even know what to say. Like every single morning, you're putting a little bit of effort into manifesting the life that you want to have, all while feeling good about it. There's just, the only thing we need to do is create time, which you get to do. You have all the power to create any time that you need, right? We go on Instagram for 10 minutes, tell you that for free. But do we take time to, journal for 10 minutes? I hope. The next thing on the list is I set my intentions. So the I in magic is intention setting. So I write down 3 goals and 3 intentions that I have. So this morning I wrote, maybe I should bring my magic journal in and kind of read to you guys what I write every episode. That might be kind of fun. I like to write things about how I'll stay consistent with things. So I think I wrote I will stay consistent with my hot yoga routine because I can be very inconsistent with that. I can go 2 times in a week and then 6 times the next week. So I think that's one of my goals recently. I wrote something like that. And then I have an audition tomorrow. So I was like, I will work hard on my audition, right? I'm setting an intention. I already know I'm going to do that, but I'm just reminding myself and the universe hey, I care about this a lot and I'm going to put time and effort into doing that. And I'm going to start by writing it down right here. There's so much power putting pen to paper. So that's the I in magic. And then the C is coffee. In the actual journal, it's a quote, and it's a inspiring quote that will motivate you to take action, right? The coffee is kind of the energizer, the action taker. It's a metaphor for getting out there and getting what you want to get done. So I don't know if that was a tangent, but I'm pretty sure I was talking about manifesting, which is what magic is. And that's how I manifest every day. And so I wanted to share that with you guys and kind of just share how powerful it's been in my life. It's been such a game changer. And I know that it would be a game changer for you. I can really feel a difference when I've done magic or haven't done magic. When I've done it, I just feel simply more grounded. Magic doesn't happen right away. It's not this instantly gratifying thing as far as I get a call an hour later and I just booked the lead in a movie or I just won $1 million. But it is instantly gratifying inside. You feel at peace. And when I don't do magic, I feel more unmotivated. I feel less in line with what I need to accomplish that day. And I feel like I didn't do something that I know I wanted to do that morning, but I simply didn't take just a little bit of time. I don't feel shame. I don't feel guilt. I just feel a little bit off track. I like to say that by doing magic, you start at a 10 every single morning. You start at a 10. You do magic, you're a 10. You don't do magic, you're neutral, right? You're 0. Something goes not your way that day, you go down to and you didn't do magic, you're at a 0, then you go down to a -4, right? But if you did magic and you started at a 10, then you're at a 6, right? Something bad happened during that day at work or with a family member. You're like, all right, well, I still took control of having my morning that I wanted to have, right? I reminded myself of my goals, the bigger picture, Not these little tiny things that happen during the day that aren't good, but the bigger picture, which are my goals and my intentions and my affirmations and what I'm grateful for. And so that's really the main difference that I feel when I do magic and don't do magic. It's like little things get to me, right? Like someone cuts me off in traffic and I'm reactive. Whereas if I take that spiritual time in the morning where I'm like connecting with my higher self, would your higher self really react and, honk really loud at somebody? No, it wouldn't. And when I go a few days without doing magic, I can truly feel that kick in. And so it's just, it's one of my favorite tools. And you don't have to have the magic journal to do magic. You could write it out on a piece of paper. You could journal stream of conscious. Another one of my favorite things is journaling stream of conscious, which is just pretty much a brain dump. If you've ever heard that. And it's just a blank line journal, and you do not judge yourself. You just write out anything and everything that comes to your brain in that moment. Literal brain dump. Like, you're never going to read this to anyone. You're not publishing this book. You just write everything down. And this has been something so helpful for me. Can I tell you why? So I wrote in a stream of conscious journal during my breakup in 2022. And it was to reflect and go back and read what I wrote during that time was so helpful for me, because I was like, wow, that's how I felt. Like, it was just a reminder of how real those feelings were and kind of the logic behind what I was feeling, because it just comes out, right? It's in your brain, it's in your intuition. And also things that I was kind of indecisive about were right there in the paper, on the paper. And I was like, wow, like that is crazy. That's what I was feeling then. And then a month later, it actually, something happened that had to do with that same topic. And I'm sure it was cathartic and therapeutic for me to have done that in the moment as well. So journaling stream of conscious is another great way to kind of release stress and emotions. And I know that there's a bunch of science behind it that help with anxiety and depression. And so it's like, if these tools are out there, why not use them? Why not give them a try? There's no better time to start than right now. There's no better time. Not tomorrow, not this weekend, not next Wednesday. Like right now, or tonight. Just meditate for 5 minutes and see how it feels. Or do a 5-minute flow of yoga and get some stretching in. Like all those things that you don't want to do that you should be doing, I think we need to be thinking about them less and just doing them more. Less thinky, more doey. That is my 2023 mantra. One thing that I always want to steer away from is going through the motions. I mean, I think that is why I created the Magic Journal to begin with, because I felt myself going through the motions, and I was kind of reading really inspiring books and listening to inspiring podcasts, and they were just talking about how going through the motions is the death of joy. And I was like, I don't want to, joy to be dead in my life. Like, I want to experience new and always be feeling new things. And so something that I read recently was that if you switch little things up in your life every single day, how it could change the even bigger picture into something great. So for example, let's say you brush your teeth with your right hand every single day, just switching it up and using your left hand, right? You're changing a motion, going through the motions that you do. You're becoming more aware of doing it. You're more conscious. You're more present. Coffee shop. You go to the same coffee shop every single day. And look, there's something to be said for a routine. I am so for it. I think it's fun to be a regular somewhere, and it's fun to have the thing that you do every single day, and it grounds you and you feel control in that way, and I love it. But just hear me out. Try a new route to work. Go to a new coffee shop. Things start changing. You meet someone new. Something else inspires you. Something triggers something in your mind that you never, ever would have thought of if you didn't, go to this new coffee shop or this new grocery store, and you didn't see this new product that inspires this new idea in your brain. And I think that's just another simple way to take action on something that you can control, right? That can really change your life for the better. And it's all about being conscious rather than unconscious. I think that's what we're trying to do, is live a conscious life, not every single day going through the motions unconsciously, quite literally, you guys. I feel like 90% of people are just driving unconsciously. I mean, how many times do we take a conscious breath? The only time I took a conscious breath today was in my meditation this morning. I am not kidding. There hasn't been one other moment where I'm like, I am breathing right now. No, it's been, all right, I did my meditation, I did my magic, I read, I had my hour morning routine, which was effing lovely. But then after that, I had to get ready and come to the podcast, and I had an audition this morning. So there were all these things that were kind of probably put back into motion. And so I strive to create a conscious lifestyle for myself, which I hope will energetically come off of me onto others, for them to see like, oh, she shines differently. Like there's something different. What are you, what potion are you taking? And I'm like, oh, it's called mindfulness, which, you guys, is really kind of what I want this podcast to be about. Is, yes, goal setting and intention setting. Those are my favorite things in vision boarding, but truly shining a light on mindfulness, which is mental health and what I believe can change the world. I mean, what do I know? But I think that teaching people, especially, like, one of my goals, I'm going to put it out here right now, manifest it on this podcast, is that I really want to teach mindfulness to kids. So the Magic Journal is a buy one, give one, and we donate a journal to high school students focusing on under-resourced communities. And the goal there is to introduce what mindfulness, what mental health is to the younger generation, right? Because they're our future. And I didn't have that in school. I didn't have that at all. Therapy was not a thing. Even to this day, my mom will be like, yeah, I'm going to therapy. She's like, oh, okay, honey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, mom, it's just a weekly thing that I do that is really helpful for my mental health. And, times have changed, and I totally get that. But you and me should be the progression of mental health and wellness, of mindfulness. If I could create one law that everyone in the world had to follow, it would be that everyone had to have a morning routine. Because I feel like if everyone could just have a little bit of mindfulness, where they're being more conscious about how they're treating other people, and about, what they want in life, and about how they're going about in the world, that the world would really be a better place. And so where better to start than with the younger generation? So circling back to the vision boarding and the mindfulness of all of this, I think that this is your sign to take that first step in writing out some goals, creating a vision board, and maybe on that vision board is creating a mindfulness practice, which is meditation, or just spending time with yourself every day and journaling stream of conscious, reading for 20 minutes. I think that mindfulness can truly change the world. So yeah, you guys, thank you so much for listening today. If you liked what we chatted about, please rate this podcast. That is how we stay relevant and how we continue to grow. So I really appreciate it. And share this with someone that you think would be inspired by today's conversation. And thank you guys so much for listening to Ground Up with Natalie, produced by Mastermind Media. I really am grateful for you. Bye.